How many cocktails do you know? This is by far the question I get most often. And unless you take the time to put this all down on paper, which would be a colossal and time-consuming task, it's really hard to tell. My guess is most experienced bartenders know between 300 to 500 recipes by heart, but even the best of us can suffer from a little brain fart now and then. That's why when I get one of those glitches, I always find it very useful to have a little cocktail bible behind the bar. Until now, I kept it in a physical form, but I always wanted to digitalize it, and I finally did it. I made a digital cocktail bible with 115 cocktails, both vintage and modern classics, and I believe are the ones ordered most often. The PDF is designed so you can easily use it on your phone, allowing you to have that little Bible with you all the time. I wanted to make this available to everyone for free, so you can go right away and download it. The link is in the pinned comment below and of course in the description as well. So go ahead, press pause, download it and come back here because we're gonna make 3 cocktails from that list, 3 that I believe are highly underrated. So now without further ado, if you guys are ready, let's go. So, first on the list today, the Casino, a pre-prohibition cocktail first published in 1909 in Jacob Didier's book, The Reminder, Up-to-Date Bartender Vest Pocket Guide. Often described as an aviation without creme de violette, I believe the Casino is highly underrated. The recipe I'm going to share with you today is one I came up with when I rejiggered the specs of the classic one to please most of the palates of my clients at the bar I was working back in the days. The drink is basically, like I said, an aviation without creme de violette and the addition of orange bitters, and for me what makes or breaks this cocktail is the choice of bitters. It needs to be Angostura orange bitters. The dominant gentian earthy note of the Angostura makes a huge difference. You can also try it with the Holy Trinity mix of orange bitters if you want, the equal parts mix of Fee Brothers, Regan, and Angostura orange bitters. It's gonna work wonderfully as well. As long as you have Angostura in your Casino, it's gonna be marvelous. So now let's move on with the cocktail. First in the shaker, we're gonna add 2 ounces or 60 ml of gin, half an ounce or 15 ml of maraschino liqueur, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1/4 ounce or 7.5 ml of simple syrup, and 2 dashes of orange bitters. Next, we fill our shaker with ice, shake it vigorously for 10 to 15 seconds, fine strain it in your favorite cocktail coupe, and we simply garnish this drink with a cocktail cherry. And there you have it, the Casino. Cheers. As you may know it by now, I'm a sucker for everything maraschino, and in this drink, it's the star of the show. Of course, we get beautiful complexity and strength from the gin, but it's really the maraschino that shines. It provides enough sweetness to balance the acidity of the lemon, and also a very interesting dry finish on the mouthfeel. We also have extra complexity provided by the orange bitters, in this case, Angostura orange bitters, and like I said, this one with its intense gentian earthy notes, paired with its beautiful orange brightness, makes of this drink something pretty complex, yet very simple and extremely tasty. I love it. Next up on the list, the Champs-elysees. The oldest mention of this one dates back to 1925, and honestly, I have no idea why this one is so underrated, or maybe I should say underrepresented. Maybe that would be more accurate, because I don't think it's that underrated, because people who love it, but really we don't see it often. Not nearly as often as we would see its popular cousin, the sidecar, on a classic cocktail menu, for example. But it's a tasty drink, no doubt about it, a little tasty jam I believe everyone should know, so let's make it. This one follows pretty much the same template as the Casino, you will see. We're gonna start with 2 ounces or 60 ml of cognac, half an ounce or 15 ml of green chartreuse, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1/4 of an ounce or 7.5 ml of simple syrup, and 1 dash of Angostura bitters. I'm gonna fill the shaker with ice, give it a good shake for 10 to 15 seconds, fine strain it in a beautiful cocktail coupe, and I'm gonna leave this one as is without any garnishes. Cheers. I love everything about this drink. I mean, the pairing of the chartreuse and the cognac is wonderful. And by the way, the classic recipes don't really say if you should use green or yellow chartreuse. It just says chartreuse. So feel free to experiment with your favorite expression of the liqueur, but for me, green chartreuse in a Champs-Elysees is clearly the winner. So now let's finish this series with another cocktail I believe deserves more attention. We're gonna make the Toronto. So if the old-fashioned is the king of cocktails and you can see a Sazerac on pretty much all classic cocktail menus, I don't understand why the Toronto, being a very similar style of cocktail, is not nearly as popular. Is it because it's not deeply rooted in tradition, or because it doesn't have a very rich history? Because all we know about it is it was created around the 1920s, first published in 1922, but as the Fernet cocktail, and then in David Embury's book it became the Toronto drink. But really, aside from that, we don't know anything about this drink, and we all know that we love our history when it comes to classic cocktails, so maybe it's the reason why it's not as popular as its siblings. But it's a tasty drink nonetheless, so let me show you how I make it. We're gonna start in a mixing glass with 2 ounces or 60 ml of rye whiskey, quarter of an ounce or 7.5 ml of Fernet Branca, quarter of an ounce or 7.5 ml again of simple syrup, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Fill up with ice and stir for 20 to 30 seconds. Strain up in a cocktail coupe or a Nick and Nora. And for the garnish, we're gonna express a lemon zest across the top and garnish the drink with the zest. And there you have it, one of my favorite cocktails, the Toronto. Cheers. I believe this for me beats an old-fashioned and maybe a Sazerac as well. I mean, there's something I love about it. It's maybe the Fernet Branca that just plays a beautiful role to create an extremely well-balanced drink. Let me explain. The old-fashioned and the Sazerac are oftentimes for me just a tad bit too much on the sweet side. And while I know that Fernet has some sugar, that's true, it's also so bitter that I believe it really helps to counterbalance the sweetness that we add in that type of cocktails. So overall, the Toronto is a beautiful, complex concoction with just enough sweetness to kill the burn of the alcohol, but not too much to make it heavy. So my friends, this is it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to download your cocktail Bible, to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and to turn that bell on if you want to make sure not to miss the next one. So until then, thank you very much again. Have a great day and see you very soon. Cheers.